on that champion for Cloud9 Tempest.
I wonder if the minigame becomes first pick Nidalee here just because we've seen the champion port, but no, they ban the Nid, and the Ziggs pick goes through because Soraka, Ryze, and Jax all get banned away from C9T. So
EG actually banned Ziggs 3 times so far this series, and they finally let it through. Instant pickup here, so no surprise there. The other 3 times are the Kez was Evelynn 3 times, and Altec was also Corki 3 times. YellowPete was Lucian 3 times. So a lot of trends here.
A couple of trendy teams in this one. Evil Geniuses, though, going to insta-lock their bottom lane. I can't see Morgana getting many picks down. EG plays so much emphasis on that champion. Same for YellowPete on Lucian. Second rotation almost every single time, first or second for EG. So now Cloud9 Tempest's turn to make some choices. Kez still hovering on the Eve. He was hovering Elise for a second there. Maybe take that away. I'm not sure what he needs with his comp, though. I actually really like Eve with Ziggs because of the slow can set up the bomb, but no, the Evelynn not going to be picked up. The Elise steal, but still another Corki for all.
And Glebe is the one talking right there during that little exchange. So they do actually switch it up. You can tell Kez is like, are you sure? What about this Evelynn pick here? I really like this.
He is a good Elise player, though.
They make the switch, and I like this because Ziggs is amazing at sieging up as well. They can get into that same position.
So Evil Geniuses have only shown their bottom lane, and they say, okay, a lot of wave clears here. There's some early game pressure from the Elise. We don't necessarily need as many pink wards. But this is another team for C9T that's going to spike in the mid game, and EG has all the time in the world to build their comp around this now. Say, okay, maybe LeBlanc mid for Pobelter. Maybe Lee Sin top.
It was also banned against Pobelter before. And now it's looking more like snowball lane time here for EG. With the lock-in of Evelynn, there's a lot of pressure on the junglers here this time around. I think, again, it's kind of been the story throughout the series. Whichever jungler has a good start is going to have an entire good game for the rest of their team. And those good starts have been so close. They've been determined by just seconds.
Yeah, and you know, a couple hundred units left to right to dodge a javelin as well. Like,
yeah,
very, very close battles over on this one. Ziggs has plenty of damage to break Black Shields. We'll see if that comes into play here with Krepo. C9T have to lock in the rest of their team composition right now, though. They need a top laner, they need a support.
And speaking of breaking Black Shield, Elise also, you can Q and then shoot out your cocoon. Break it yourself. So it's actually a pretty good jungler going into a Morgana.
6 seconds to go, taking up to the last second. This is a do-or-die game for Cloud9 Tempest. And to go back to things we've seen before, Aurelia, the 3rd time now for Yazuki. And Thresh for Glebe. So a lot of room to make picks here with great follow-up from Ziggs and Corki, the Yordle duo.
So many bombs on this Cloud9 team. They have a lot of area of effect magic damage. And some pretty good peel as well with Thresh, so nice AoE around the mid-dragon fight.
Yeah, but also for the 3rd time, we get Lee Sin again for InnoX. So it's been a successful champion for that player overall. He's had a pretty good run in this one. Of course, I feel like he's probably had the best overall score for EG so far. He carried game 1 significantly. Of course, it was a team effort overall, but he had the highest impact. It was the heavy farm, low death, giant split pusher, big damage threat that shut down Yazuki in game 3 on his Lee Sin.
Yeah.
And once again,
he also looks really cool when he's playing Lee Sin because he's been doing the kick and then flash.
Yeah.
Which, it just looks way cooler. It saves you a tiny, tiny bit of time.
A little bit of time.
But it's something that does take you a while to get a handle on. It just shows that he's a guy who's put a lot of time into Lee Sin.
Yeah, does a very good job with this one. So the game's about to go live. Hop on Twitter and let us know who you think is going to be victorious.
All right, tweet us at LO Esports and use the hashtag C9T win or EG win. And we'll be checking in on where the vote stands throughout the game.
And game 3 actually started out with like a 50-50 vote. People realized, okay, these guys are trading games back and forth. But EG looked so controlled in game 3 in that victory. I want to know how much that vote is swayed. I'm going to guess 70-30 the first time we pull it up.
I mean,
EG.
I think it's safe to say that this is a very close series. Everybody's been going back and forth just depending on who's currently winning the game. But when we head into each game, they've been very close votes.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I think Evil Geniuses right now have shown they're a little bit more clutch. Cloud and Tempest, though, they get the Ziggs for the first time this series. They're also changing up a couple of their other champions. I want to know how deep that strat pool goes, how scary that Ziggs really is to warrant all those bans the first few times.
And I will also be looking at his lane opponent, Pobelter on LeBlanc. Pobelter is a guy who has been able to single-handedly take over games. If he can get the first couple kills with LeBlanc, he will be able to roam around and extend that sphere of influence throughout the entire map. That will open up the jungle for counter jungling. It will open up the side lanes to playing more aggressive. It's really been the story for EG so many times in the LCS. If Pobelter gets a good start, then they have a strong game.
Ooh, EG have now set up a new plan. They're so used to C9T invading bottom side.
So we finally get to see that, where you're defending one of the buffs instead of both teams invading opposite ones. The only thing is, so many teams pull this strategy where you hide in this upper cliff that every team has become accustomed to checking that cliff. And C9T do have Corki, so I would expect Altec to throw a phosphorus bomb over that wall before they actually walk into it. Now, the question is, will EG react to that, and will they still land a binding? Or will Cloud9 be able to get out of it?
One thing worth pointing out, though, is that Altec has been checking the brush in the top right corner with a Q, and it doesn't come back from cooldown.
He hasn't been checking the cliff?
No, he's been checking that brush every time.
Well, that could bite him in the butt this time around. A lot of people save it for checking the cliff. 80% chance that he will not check the cliff.
78 now, it's going up.
78 is less than 80, Freak. It's not going up.
Chance that he will check the cliff. Oh, Spiderling checked it.
Ah, so he
still doesn't check the cliff. GleebGlarbu takes a binding, and C9 back off of that one.
Interesting.
That was a 4v5. They could have baited them in. EG could have taken that fight.
I don't know why they didn't wait for that one. They had the perfect setup. Eve scouting, little trigger happy there.
Well, he lands 2 bindings on a Glebe, though. So, hey, 100% shots here.
Gets cash money for those, too. He's rewarded for his efforts.
10 gold. Cash dollars here for Krepo. And Snoopeh manages to sneak through and steal the red buff.
They think that they're delaying the jungle, but Snoopeh has actually gone into enemy territory. What a steal. Now, can he get out? This is the exit path here. Snoopeh, can he survive and exit? Oh! Solid snake.
Yazuki, he's going to recall back. Kez walks on and is like,
I've been had!
You jerk. Yazuki
Good
gets
choice.
a couple of wards.
Good choice of words.
And of course, Snoopeh knows he did that too. The guy walked right on top of the ward.
Confirmed jerk.
Confirmed jerk.
Look at that. He's not even going for his blue either. So since he smoked the red so early, he's walked all the way around and he's making sure that there's no answer from Kez. Kez will not get a 2-buff start. Snoopeh is going to close off the other side and take the red as well.
So a 3-to-1 buff start is going to make some junglers angry. I know it's normally get fit with Snoopeh, normally not get fit with Rage.
The thing is, he spent so much time walking all the way over there. Elisa's not too far behind. She finished a little bit later, yes, but they're still level 2 right now. Even though Snoopeh is, halfway there already to level 3, it's not too bad for Elise. At least the buff that she did get is blue buff, and she'll be able to clear very effectively. Snoopeh doing a lot more walking. It doesn't mean he has some ginormous lead. Really, the main part about that is that there's no red buff for the Elise gank, so it won't be as effective.
Let's see what we get with this one then. Early lane push, and I got to point out, how well will the 2v2 go for Cloud9 Tempest? Yazuki InnoX splitting farm pretty closely. Snoopeh getting the blue. He's almost level 4. He's going to recall back, though.
See,
I got a freak win. Tied up.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, so because he did 2 red buff starts before even going and getting a blue, ran out of mana. That's why it's the early recall. That's why Kez should probably be able to catch up.
Let's see what we get with this one.
Ooh, featured matchup. Let's take a look here. So far, Altec doing a good job. And Glebe very happy to be on Thresh. So many times, you're very fond of pointing out that cooldown difference between Hook and Black Shield.
Yeah.
Glebe is one of the players that does like to abuse it. Krepo stopping him in his tracks, though.
And the Light Slinger helping as well, so Glebe's got to be a bit careful he doesn't take too much damage. at least looked for a gank bottom, didn't find it. Kez just backs off. He does have Machete, upgrades to Spirit Stone, so looking more for the farming than early damage.
And he can't be sure if there was a ward down there or not, because Glebe showed, he gave away that they're obviously going aggressive for some reason by moving up as Thresh. Gave away a tell that there was probably somebody coming, so the EG bottom lane does the right thing, backs off.
Hook dodged, and the Black Shield's there.
All right, so the cooldown for Black Shield might bite them, but they are shoved into turret too, so they're already playing very defensively. Yeah. Shouldn't be too big of a problem.
At this rank, it's like a 2-second cooldown difference anyway.
That pink ward as well was replaced by one from Snoopeh, so EG have claimed the pixel bush on the north side for themselves.
And the early recall. No, okay, Yazuki was messing with me there, but the teleports are about back up from cooldown in the top lane. And I want to see how the early buys go. Right now, though, InnoX heavily winning the matchup. He's up 15 minions, Lee Sin versus Aurelia.
Yeah, both solo lanes for EG are bullying their lanes. They're doing a great job. It's the bottom lane that's really lacking in the lane phase here for EG.
The Snoopy's here to defend it, walks into the brush. He knows there's no pink ward there. He checked it to see he wasn't spotted. He'll check Tri-Brush as well. Knows he hasn't been seen on the way through. And here comes the flank.
Let's see if they can actually pull something off. This all depends on the binding. If he doesn't land the binding, then it's just damage from Eve. He does get it.
Binding lands on a Glebe. Big damage there. He does have flash still. Burns the summoner heal, does not land a hook though. Looks like C9T get away, but they lose one summoner for it. Potion burn Kez in the wings, but they won't find anything.
It only relieves a tiny, tiny amount of pressure on the bottom lane though. All it's really going to do is force Glebe to play further back, because Altec is still 100% safe. Not only does he have a lantern, but he also has the longest range dash with the Valkyrie. Glebe again though, getting hit. Krepo's on point.
Krepo's hit like 4 or 5 bindings now onto Glebe though. His Morgana is super on point. Glebe unfortunately not dodging. That's not a good thing. He's out of potions now, so the health bar is going to stay low. And he only has 1 charge of Relic Shield per minute, so the health return is not going to be very high either.
The pink ward, it's changed hands twice now. Bischu going to reclaim the territory. Both teams know that there are pink wards in here at all times though, so it's not going to afford them that much benefit. Snoopeh should be working around that pink ward if he's going for a gank. Otherwise, he can know that he can easily clear it out.
Well, 2 early recalls from Bischu though. There we go. That took like 4 seconds.
It's the pink ward graveyard bush now. It's no longer the pixel bush.
Ooh, no tether lands, and the jump back from Pobelter. Just getting some damage down, but not losing really anything for it. Bischu playing far back and just wave clearing for now.
Yeah, it has a lot to do with an Evelynn jungle. Whenever you have an Eve jungle, it helps your solo lanes because the opponents have to play more defensively, especially when it's someone like LeBlanc who has kill potential on you. So that's really another reason why EG solo lanes are doing so well.
Yeah, it's absolutely great for them. EG have a 200 gold lead just from the laning phase. No kills, no turrets, no dragons, but 200 gold all the same. So you got to commend Evil Geniuses for that early laning phase. You look at the recalls for the AD carries, and you see BF Sword Longsword versus just BF Sword. So right now that bottom lane advantage is cashed in as plus 10 attack damage. And once again, it's Sightstone completed for Glebe. Tier 2 GP10 for Krepo. He bought wards on his own. He could have bought Sightstone if he wanted to, but would rather have more harass. So I want to see how this lane pans out with Krepo having more damage output.
It doesn't seem like he's been that aggressive with the harass either. They've been getting shoved in. The only time he's really getting these bindings are when Glebe is moving up. He's walking forward in the lane and trying to gain ground for a gank or trying to gain positioning for a hook.
Well, this could be rough for Bischu. Pobelter goes in. The nice little knock-up into turret range, though, but Bischu will get rooted up. Fires a Q back, does get some damage down. Blue buff is on Bischu, not the case yet for Pobelter, who's a bit low on mana, but Bischu's out of potions.
And Kez heading down was seen by not only this ward, but also the mid ward. So they've been tracking him this entire time. Another binding lands from Krepo, this time on Altec, so there's no follow-up damage, even though Glebe does get in.
A bit of a risky play from Kez. Goes into the enemy blue buff to put a ward down. Gets spotted on the same way out, though. Kez wants to control this. Glebe is there for the rotation as well. 6 and 5 for these two. Pobelter knows people are around. Gets some nice...
Ooh, the
satchel.
Great timing there from Bischu. Well played. Can that give them the strength to go for this blue buff. Doesn't look... Oh, scares Snoopeh off the blue buff entirely.
It's going to regen. Now, who owns the lane right there? Kez is going to ward over. It's going to be into the brush, though. Snoopeh keeps it safe. Hook onto Krepo. He can't follow through. Takes some damage.
Lands the binding at the same time the hook lands, so Gleeb can't even take it in to gain distance. Really what this is going to accomplish for Cloud9 in their favor is going to be the blue buff smited away by Snoopeh. As long as it doesn't go to Pobelter, it will be mission accomplished. But they all just back off anyway. Just save it.
It also gave a lot of time for Altec to 1v1 YellowPete, but Pete won the duel. Altec's at half health right now. Despite, you know, having a small item lead here in the matchup, just didn't even matter in this one. So Pete doing a good job in that matchup, and the blue buff finally does go to Pobelter. Bischu gets some damage in the turret as a result. He pushes a wave in. And the binding on Altec, this could be an all-in. Altec low on health! Wow. Krepo just now 6.
Yeah, sketchy play right there from Altec. Almost went down. Pretty close to dropping to one more auto attack as well. Still had his heal and flash. But man, you have to give props to Krepo. All of these successful trades being initiated by the bindings.
Ziggs ulti comes down, spots EG. Nothing gonna really happen though. Kez is around. He did steal a Baron in game 1. Morgana ulti popped there. Kez forced away. Krepo stuns him up. That's going to be spited away. Snoopeh gets the dragon. And Evil Genius is 1,400 gold up. That is not all the dragon.
And that dragon, again, it was because of Krepo landing the binding and getting that favorable trade on Altec, them forcing him out of lane. Only reason that EG could force that dragon.
Another all-in attempt right there. Pobelter does not land the chain. Bischu gets away. InnoX has a Tiamat. And he's maxing E, by the way, 2 points in Q. So a high damage build here to try to push around the Aurelia. Only 1 point in Safeguard and Iron Will. Yazuki has recalled and teleported back to lane for a Phage. He hopes that's going to be enough to keep him in the lane, but he's down 14 minions in the matchup, and InnoX has his TP available if he wants it for something. Bottom lane turret will go down. That puts the game back to close. InnoX and Yazuki in a bit of a fight right there. InnoX, though, gigantic attack speed slow. You can see him putting the hurt back down onto Yazuki, who dashes away with, of course, the Maxi 10 style.
Got the ward.
Good damage comes through. Interesting point, Yazuki's got 2 points in Blade Surge. It's actually pretty abnormal.
Whoa! Pobelter showing pretty early here. They do not want Yazuki to get out.
But there's no one around to save him. This is not going to be great. Kick into the wall. The dash to a minion. Is it going to be enough? No, it's not. First blood Pobelter.
So bottom lane turret, everyone committed down there for C9T. Meanwhile, everybody else moving up to the top lane for EG. So it is another trade. Bottom for top, yet they got a kill on EG's side. And the first blood going to give them a pretty good gold lead to add on to the extra CS lead that they already had.
This is wonderful now for Evil Genius's 2.2 thousand gold ahead right here. The fact that Bischu got some more minions on that one didn't really matter. Pobelter goes in for Kez. He gets binded up. Big damage going to come through. Satchel Charge comes down as well. There's the Evil. The more harass comes down, plus Ignite. Kez will get away. Looks like no damage coming back for C9T, so.
Yeah, a lot of C9T ultis burned and not a lot of damage given out, actually. Bischu only hitting 1 with his ulti. And the Thresh box going to be down as well. That actually signals all of EG to say, hey, they have no more defensive ultis to clear out any of these waves. Everybody come mid, we're going to shove this one down.
And here we go, the pressure down in the mid turret with no one to defend, down to half HP, and all of EG are actually there, all 5. Made it to the mid lane in time. Turret goes down, the re-engage. Kez, he goes down to the Kolik. At the very edge of it, Yazuki forced to flash away. 1 hit from dead. The Summoner Heal keeps him alive. Now it's Krepo, a bit overextended, but the stun, the bind on Altec. EG get out.
And everybody lives. What a huge win for EG. Great job reacting to the early use of those 2 ultis when Kez got caught. And they get a huge, huge objective out of it. So much momentum to be gained from mid turret going down. Now they can start getting those wards in the jungle deep that they want.
So here we go, the ward game. Gonna start out a little bit here for Evil Geniuses. 2 outer turrets are gone. What now can they own? Neither team has had a hard time closing the game out from an early game lead. Any significant early game lead has resulted into a win so far this series. So Evil Geniuses have to be poised right here. As long as they can keep the nerves under control, which I believe they can as an experienced team, they'll be in good shape. Blue buff goes to Bischu. no buff steals really have happened so far this game. Pobelter does try to own the pink ward. Kez gonna get the stun. Ooh, yep, the ward over the wall.
Whoa!
Nice.
Sneaky. Also very confident because he is going back into enemy territory with no further wards.
It looks like it's going to be fine for him. Completely great play by Evil Geniuses. Altec holds a 30 minion lead, but that is really the only winning matchup here for Cloud9 Tempest. And they're slowly losing control of this game. I know they were criticized for not really having any big playmaking moves. They kind of waited for opportunities to be presented, and EG aren't really presenting opportunities. So I wonder if C9T can do something to get themselves back into this game.
Yeah, and C9T, the analysts were talking about, yeah, they want to bring EG down to their level, down to the solo queue mentality, down to standard lanes. Yet EG in the standard lanes win 2 out of 3 and get a really big advantage from the top side of the map. So it actually works out in their favor. And they were even able to secure Dragon with the weak bottom side.
Into the mid turret now under fire. The teleport coming in to flank. Kez stuns early. And InnoX goes in for some big damage. Kez at half now. Bischu forced to jump the wall, but he still gets rooted up. He's going to go down to a kick from InnoX. The binding onto Glebe again. Krepo gets the kill secure for that one. Kez in a bad spot trying to fight InnoX. He's going to go down as well. The solo kill makes it 5-0 Evil Geniuses.
Pobelter and InnoX are very confident in their assassin play right now. Both going heavy damage dealers, both having good starts. And oh, another catch!
And Yazuki goes down as well. Altec can't save the team. More picks. The bindings for Krepo, I wonder why they even banned the champion, because Krepo's Morgana is great.
Well, we see why Cloud9 were banning against EG in their games, so.
They were?
I believe they were.
Okay.
So this is, yeah, that mistime cocoon cost him about half his life. And then the jump onto onto Bischu by Pobelter. Able to clean this one up very easily. Both of the solo laners really making good early moves.
All right, Cloud9 Tempest, your LCS lives now right in front of you. This is the game you must win to pull it back to Game 5. Evil Geniuses, 6,000 gold. Looks like they will relinquish the Dragon. Let that go C9T's way, but Evil Geniuses happy to play reserved, a little bit smart with this one. 5,000 gold puts them ahead. They can give away small leads as long as they make the right choices here. Yazuki forced back. Pobelter's very scary. Gonna be adding Deathfire Grasp in pretty soon, is my guess. We're gonna see now the standard bookkeeping right now done by EG. InnoX in the top lane, killing away minions, making sure the wave is ready for a push if they want it. EG send 3 to 4 mid lane. They'll be ready to rotate near the blue buff if they want to. That will be coming up fairly soon, I think. Bischu's blue buff is gone, meaning that will be soon.
So you talked about early leads translating into convincing victories for both teams throughout this match. It's now EG's turn to actually finish it out.
There's some damage on the Yazuki. Nope, not gonna go for much more here. Binding, almost. Lantern in, hook, not gonna go for Krepo. Did make a black shield himself, but not a big deal. Evil Geniuses start the top lane siege. Bischu goes mid lane to wave clear, but EG don't care about that one too much. YellowPete will hold it, keep it pressured. He knows he's under no risk.
All right, you're right, by the way.
Yeah.
They were the ones banning Morgana. And because they know the power of her.
Yeah.
Krepo knows if you land all the bindings, you get a huge advantage. Even when they were losing that bottom lane, they did not die in the lane. So they were able to wait it out for the rest of the team to really come down and swing it around for them. And now, Pete's got 2 kills. He's getting solo tower kills. Got the local gold there. So he's caught right back up to Altec. And EG are looking very, very strong. As you can see, the viewers agree.
Do agree. Smart people watch LCS, I gotta say.
Yeah, 0-6.
Yep. And they're winning the league. They're winning the game. They might get their way back into the LCS with this one. YellowPete is just going to keep doing some wave clear on the bottom side, get some solo farm. Takes his time with this one, and not using too much mana to clear, but making sure he's getting his golden experience. Trinity Force will be done fairly soon for him. Kez and Bischu will manage to claim the blue buff, so for all of EG's sieging and map control, they're still not wresting control of buffs just yet. They're just getting pressure on turrets and taking dragons. So not pushing in hyper aggressive just yet.
So it's really a pick heavy team for EG. It's pretty hard for them actually to siege up very well. It's all about split pushing, trying to ward deep and catch somebody off. Once they catch somebody, then they can take the objectives very easily. But as of right now, they don't have a good means of finishing out the game. So even though they got this huge lead, we'll probably see, again, the same style for them. Cutting off all of the supply lines for Cloud9 and trying to increase their lead through all of the objectives on the map, not trying to crack in through those inhibitor turrets until they get around 30 minutes.
Okay, let's see what these guys can find then. 10 minutes to go till that heavy siege begins. YellowPete just holding the waves up. Ward's actually not that deep right now for EG. They've got a couple in the river, one slightly past the mid lane turret, one across the dragon wall. But otherwise, Cloud and Tempest do own vision over their own jungle. EG send 2 guys down to the bottom lane. Pink Ward actually spots out a defensive ward, so more vision owned by Evil Geniuses. The bottom lane now is theirs.
Yeah, I mean, even though it is 0 to 6, not only do EG have a pick-heavy comp, but they also are fighting a Ziggs. Very, very hard to get any sort of momentum pushing against the Ziggs. And he's not that far behind. Even though he got killed, still leading in CS. He's got plenty of wave clear, needlessly large rod coming in.
I want to see how many defensive options C9T gets in the inventory. Because they've got to worry, like, be worried about getting picked and whatnot. Like Face of the Mountain, Locket of the Iron Solari. Like, these are things that would really help C9T survive. And the Kills Crucible as well. But Gleeb's not having, there's not a ton of gold. There's only 2 turrets going down, no dragons. That misses, which means C9T.
They didn't get found.
They go in, play on a YellowPete, but he gets over the wall in time, but the chase is on anyway. Altec flashes in, heals burn, but the stun might be enough. YellowPete, 1 hit from dead, kill comes in for Snoopeh, and here comes the double teleports. GleebGlarbu stuck in a 1 versus 3. He's gonna go down. Evil Genius is too far ahead.
The bottom lane of Cloud9 try to take the game on their backs, and they create the pick for EG.
Well, Bischu versus Pobelter, flash over the wall. Pobelter goes in, finds him. Yazuki on the other side.
I have to say, it's also a good job of Pobelter not instantly going back to his W. A lot of people just have that reaction.
Wow, the kick in.
Oh, he saved him!
Red buff, not enough.
Miscalculated. That is going to give them complete control, though. Look, they get the kills, they get the picks, they don't get the objectives down. And they actually give one up!
Oh, the Duke's back!
Boom!
Pobelter with the dancing shoes gets away.
All right, couple more kills. They don't get anything, though. Like we said, they weren't able to take any turrets. They didn't get Dragon. Still 30 seconds up there. So all in all, not the worst case scenario for Cloud9. Definitely not optimal, though. Pobelter with juke number 1. Follow from Kez, pretty good. As he was attacking, he was in the motion. 3 of his legs were extended to attack.
Yep.
But Pobelter comes out ahead.
Very nicely played. C9T, I feel like they're just continually dropping advantages here. Okay, the mid laner, the AD carry, they're getting some farm back. The wave clear is good, so they're getting minions here. But Yazuki's Irelia, unfortunately, it was great in game 2, but I have not seen it impress yet. InnoX has won the matchup every time since then. And
Jukes?
Yeah. Actually, sorry, it was his Rise that was good in game 2. I haven't actually seen his Irelia really do much, unfortunately.
I'm surprised we haven't seen his Shyvana. He really, really was liking Shyvana for a long time and has not actually gone back to her this series. And speaking of dragons, EG do claim another. So, as we said, increasing that gold lead, trying to take everything they can off the map while avoiding sieging up at turrets. Pobelter still always on the hunt for more people to 100%. Altec is next target, and he burned all his summoners on that last little bush camp maneuver they tried to pull. You can tell he's playing very defensively, though. Oh, and he misses all the CS! All 3 ranged minions, because he was worried about LeBlanc.
For good reason. Pobelter hits the ward, shows his disdain for vision. and walks away. Krepo loves vision, though. He's got a sight stone, puts a ward down. Also helps to secure the blue buff here, so Evil Geniuses continuing to be in control. Altec forced away. Managed to dodge some of the skill shots there. Keeps himself nice and safe.
Yeah, he got hit with that Deathfire Grasp.
We're going to see now Evil Geniuses setting up now around the Baron area. Cloud and Tempest getting rid of what they can. Pobelter, though, continue to own the bottom lane right here, playing very much by himself, controlling the bottom lane. C9T making their way back up to try to get that one to happen. Snoopeh on the flank. Those could be bad for C9T. Here comes the engage. Box comes down. In the back lines, Bischu gets exploded. GleebGlarbu goes down as well.
There's their two
Perfect
picks.
fight.
And they're turning their eyes towards Baron already. The jungler's still up. This could be another miracle steal for Kez. He's going to have to get a little bit closer, though.
Yeah, Smite not exactly global range here. Evil Genius is getting ward control over the wall. They're looking for where could Elise come from. The damage coming through, though. 4 men hitting it. Krepo playing defense on the other side for now. We're going to see Baron still taking more and more damage. It's going to get exploded. There is Baron Nashor going to Evil Geniuses. Altec just taking Wolves. It's all he can do to do anything in this one. Mid lane gets swept away. Nothing taken for C9T as a result of that.
Yeah, so we do see some action. The slower game, the methodical game from EG, trying to take everything that's not a turret. They finally do get that pick they're waiting for. Actually claim 2 and secure the biggest objective of all. Well, second biggest, second to the Nexus. Now, even with Baron, though, I'm interested to see how this siege will go. Will they go with a split push here and try and have InnoX draw people away, then go for a dive? It'll be slow work for them, even though they have such a commanding lead. We'll see how they pull it off. InnoX has ridiculous damage, though, so anyone who goes up against him is going to have to be worried. Likewise for Pobelter.
Well, then, let's see what they do with this one, because the Baron buff on Evil Geniuses still makes them the stronger players on the map. Of course, the kill lead doesn't hurt that one either. Krepo looks for some harass, won't find it, puts a ward down, though. Evil Geniuses, they've taken pretty much all the objectives they can that aren't turrets now, so they gotta start looking for them a little bit.
They've been scouring this map, looking for any piece of gold they can find that's not protected by a building. They're gonna have to crack that egg one day. InnoX looking for some damage.
Gets a whole bunch. Yazuki down to about 2/3. He can sustain back up, but it's not the ideal situation for him. Looks like InnoX owns the lane right there. Put some very serious damage down. That's going to be his turret.
Yep, as you said, him going full damage puts out a lot. Anybody going up against him going to have to worry. They finally take down one turret. This should probably be a secondary one over here, though, too. Zig's going to have something to say about it.
Well, there's the wave clear, but the turret goes down anyway. EG have to wait 30 seconds for the next one, but they're a patient team. They're not going to mind that too much. Some pink wards come down. InnoX tries to take over the top lane. Yazuki certainly can't really fight back. That turret's down to 2/3 right now.
So both sides of the split push are gaining ground for Evil Geniuses. The money and the Baron buff are just too much to overcome. Always got to keep your eyes out for those bindings as well. Anytime one of those lands from Krepo, EG jump on it.
Well, we'll see where they hop to next.
InnoX got that top turret at half health, too.
Pobelter hits. Yep. That's the right play. You jump over the wall, hit the turret twice, or the ward twice, hop back out. Oh! The flash kick! Yazuki has to flash the wall. He will stay safe, but that was a nice move by InnoX.
Another nice kick flash, InnoX, and they also gain some damage down bottom. This should be top inhibitor exposed now. Just what they needed.
Ooh. Glebe forced him summon or heal himself, actually, to keep himself safe. Top lane inhibitor turret goes down. Kez and Yazuki want the fight. They push back Snoopeh. They go in for InnoX, but Kez took gigantic damage. He gets sniped in the back lines. The safeguard back. InnoX is safe after the kill, but they get one back. The Ziggs bombs are helping. Snoopeh flashes. Hexdrinker's on. Yazuki does not chase that one.
So they call off the chase, but they lost only one inhibitor. Another snipe from Pobelter. They only lost one inhibitor, but 2 inhibitor turrets gone down. Now we do not have to play that waiting game anymore. There's so many options for EG. They have successfully accomplished their split push.
And Snoopeh will take away the mid lane wave, and heck, Dragon's up in 10 seconds. So Evil Genius is completely in control right now. They'll take the recall, they get the health back up. No rush there. Let's watch that fight again, though.
All right, so they started off on InnoX. He's focused on the turret, so that's why they feel comfortable just going straight into his space. And then his Hydra damage actually doing a lot of work on both of them. The Q is still there. As anyone playing against Lee Sin, you never want to flash when the Q is still on you. And InnoX does take the ride, gets the kill. So they answer 1 for 1.
And of course, Bischu going to the top lane, making that a 3 versus 4 in the bottom. Means Pobelter has no one to stop him. He picks that one up, so. Cloud and Tempest, unfortunately for them, no one's got a very impressive score. You've only got 2 kills on the map. You've died 13 times. EG giving up very few advantages. Even InnoX dying was a positive thing for EG because it gave them control over the bottom side. I haven't seen a single major mistake from these guys.
Also, they have a tremendous number of Trinity forces in this game.
Must be why they're winning.
So it's actually dead even then,
yeah,
according to Freak stats.
But they got theirs slower. InnoX just bought one for style, though. That's normally not part of the build.
Well, it gives them that much more burst. You saw how much burst he already had on Yazuki?
Yep.
He took it to about half.
Yes.
And that was even without the ulti. So
InnoX knows the secrets now.
InnoX looking for the burst Lee Sin. High impact here.
He's barely got any tank stats. You actually don't often see Last Whispers on Lee Sin's because you need the tank stats, but EG are so focused on playing split push and never running a dedicated team fight. All InnoX cares about is the 1v1. And it's working completely. 4-1-1. Another great score.
It also gives him the ability to just throw one attack at a structure and take a lot more damage off of it.
Oh, yeah.
If he can empower his attack first. Whoa! He's burning. Is it burning?
Summoner heal comes out that was actually required. He had 1 tick left in Ignite.
Yep.
So good coordination there. Kez letting his team know he did need the heal. But top inhibitor now under fire. This will be another one falling down. EG so much in control. No one even tries to stop them. The bomb hurts a bit. Glebe not going in for a pick just yet. Ward over the wall. And the ward goes down.
EG can taste the next split of LCS right now. They are so close. One more inhibitor turret to go. And that's all that stands between them and the Nexus that will guarantee their jobs for one more split.
Here we go. Mid lane about to be under fire. Hook not going to land. Pobelter goes in. Big damage on a Glebe down to half HP. They disengage once again. Evil Geniuses. This could be the push that puts them back into the North American LCS. Is there a miracle here for Cloud9 Tempest? Can they somehow turn this game back? Baron's up in 4 seconds. Home guard's there on Pobelter. He's going to make his way back down. Looks like another global objective steadily going EG's way. Never giving any room to come back. EG actually, they go for the bait at Baron, not for the actual kill itself.
They should probably be rushing this. They see everybody down. Altec's in the very bottom lane. They just see Aurelia coming up. They should definitely have the confidence here, and they do start it up.
Down to half. Just kind of recalls coming in from Cloud9 Tempest. This will be the Baron. Evil Geniuses now with Baron number 2, 33-33 in the game. And here we go. Most of them have recalled once before. They could go for another one just in case. But the mid lane's the target. Bottom inhibitor has respawned. There's no minion wave there for them, though. Kez not in position to defend. Must recall now. EG. Look for the binding. It lands. Wave clear is going to be okay from Ziggs. Top lane getting pressure just a little bit. EG want to make sure everything's available to them. The minion waves, you want them all going towards C9T's base.
I just want to see what Pobelter's next target is, because he's come so close to assassinating multiple people. Everybody's got to stick on their toes. Actually, InnoX could do it too.
Big damage comes in. Bischu stays alive, and the jump back despite the satchel. Hook comes in onto Krepo. Bischu needs to heal. He has home guard, so he'll get back in this fight, but the bottom inhibitor is going to fall. EG once again have 2 inhibs down. Binding is dodged. Mid lane is available for these guys if they want it. But minions are still flooding into the base right here. It is mid lane the target.
They really want to take down that last inhibitor turret. They're knocking at the doors of Cloud9 Tempest, and they're knocking at the doors of the LCS.
Them taking this amount of time, though, is giving C9T room to farm minions, catch up in levels and gold. It's a long road. The EG taking a lot of time. Snoopeh going to keep pushing the bottom. Now Bischu takes big damage. He gets away, though. Ignite and DFG are down. There comes the culling and big damage. Hook onto InnoX, though. He is squishy.
Ooh.
He's going to take a bunch of damage, but the heals keep him safe. It's a 1-for-1. This could be the fight. Altec goes down. Snoopeh's in the front lines. He's chasing in. 4 versus 3.
InnoX, the martyr, goes down. The rest of the team should be able to clean up all of these buildings. They have no minions. Actually, they're going to get scared off by the inhibitor turret.
Pobelter has a dash away. YellowPete's going to take aggro. That will be the turret now. 9-2. Plus a turret, plus a kill. Evil Geniuses found more to put them ahead, but they will back off this time.
Cloud9 have a small amount of breathing room, but there's nothing for them to answer with. So really, they're just waiting and dreading the next push from EG coming down the line after having purchased, after all of that global gold they just secured with their prolonged siege. It's going to be very, very hard for Cloud9 to come out. Pobelter, the initial burst onto Bischu doesn't take him out of the fight, and then InnoX, he has no tank stats, as we said, but all the heals coming in, doubling up on him. He lasts pretty long enough for the rest of the team to take out the main damage source. Altec goes down. That's basically the team for C9 crumbling.
The McHale's on top of the double summoner heal. Gave him a lot, but now there's a Warmox on InnoX, so that'll be harder to kill. Guardian Angel came through for YellowPete, plus the Yomu's Ghostblade. Yeah, I just passed right over it.
Yeah.
I didn't even want to see it.
Don't even know what you're talking about. Double GAs. All right, this last fight is gonna go.
Yeah, I don't see EG losing that fight. There's almost no way. But he has to find a way to do it anyway. 18,000 gold down.
Look at the faces on the Cloud9 members. They are not giving up. They're still talking. There's still communication. Fighting till the bitter end.
Well, top inhibs respawn. Mid inhib is opened, though. The only turrets left on the map for C9T are in front of the nexus. Evil Geniuses taking a bit of time with this one. Baron buff still on for a little while longer. Locket did come through for Krepo, by the way, so he's got a shield there for the team. There we go, inhibitor down to half HP. Binding comes through. There's the engage from Snoopeh. Gets locked up a little bit. The dive in from InnoX. Pobelter deletes one from the map. GleebGlarbu is gone. And the fight continues now. Kez forced to run away from this one. Yazuki now stunned up. The dive in. InnoX gets a knockup for that one. And it's a 1-for-0 plus the inhib falling. Top inhib also going to fall right away. And now EG with the super minions. This is the game for them. This will be the 3-1 victory unless C9T can stop them.
They're
minions
coming
are
out
there.
Strong. They want to desperately defend their nexus turrets, but the inhibitor comes up and goes down.
There it is. Now will they stay? 17 seconds of 5 versus 4. No more Baron buff. They've still got 2 GAs. They've got very few ultimates available. Evil Geniuses make sure that's all gone. Bottom nibs respawning soon. Gonna make sure it's all gone. They wait for the respawn. Again, if it's not a turret, they will take the objective before taking a turret.
Working on the demolition score. Cloud9, they have to make something desperate happen here. They've got to have 3 lines of super minions coming into their base. Altec trying to clear out the top 2.
Finding on a Kez. Culling comes down. Kez will dodge most of that, though. Bombs come through. Altec down to half HP. There's the engage one more time. Snoopeh, big ulti. Yazuki, he's going to go down. Krepo will get away with this one, actually, and it's going to be Kez falling now. 5 versus 3, the game-winning push. Altec gets deleted. GleebGlarbu's got nowhere to go. This is the game. Evil Geniuses with a 3-1 score are back in to the North American LCS.
Congratulations to EG. Well deserved.
There's the hugs, the cheers of the fans, the smiles on their faces. Very much earned by these guys. They said they'd win when it counts. They did that. They dropped a single game. They said their eyes were towards Worlds. Can they step up in the summer split? Can they make that top 3, top 2 push?
I feel like they've lowered their gaze and they've lowered the bar. But you never know. They can make that push.
I think one thing for EG was it took them a while to get the team together. When Pobelter and InnoX first joined, they were trying to find how do we play this? What do we do? I think InnoX showed up gigantic in this series. His Lee Sin was amazing. Constantly won his lane. Was always a big split push threat. That was one of the points that required the most gelling for EG, was making it work with InnoX. Here it did work, but at the end of the season it was working.
Their communication has improved significantly.
Yeah.